Hello everybody, how's it going? It's me, Crendor, and welcome back to Crendor Talks in front of a shitty green screen app. Today, we've got the Beastmen in the background. Please give them something. But I wanted to make a video talking about something that's been bothering me. On the inside. And I've been trying to figure out, like, how to put it into words. And it's probably gonna sound really dumb when I try to do this, but have you ever had that feeling where you've essentially finished a model, but you feel like the model is not finished? That's a way to, like, put it very lightly. Because I feel like everybody's kind of had that, right? But it's to varying degrees. So sometimes it's like I painted this thing, you know, back when I first started playing, and so I'm like, it's not up to standard of my current standards. I've gotten better at painting, so now I want to redo it, but I also want to redo it to, like, be like, you know, because it's like looking into the past a bit, right? Being like, oh, so I'm like, maybe I should buy a new one of those things, and then, you know, do it again. But then I'm like, but I could just paint this one, and then, I don't know. Okay, so I've actually got some models I put over in my Warhammer area, so I'm gonna have to, like, spin the monitor around here and go over there and change the microphone. But I wanted to give you some examples, and, you know, as I go do this, like, comment, subscribe, and comment below. Look at that segue. About a model that you feel that isn't finished, but it kind of feels finished. Does that make sense? Okay, hold on, I'm gonna show you. Okay, let me swap mics and go over to the old Warhammer area real quick here. All right, that's Burning Crusade, Wowhead. Don't look at that. Promo codes available. Wow. Here we are. All right, and then we're gonna do the old mic swap. Doo-doo-doo. And here we go. Okay, this is a high quality production. This is high quality production value you get here at WarhammerCrendor. All right. So. Are we... Okay, we're good. So, let me show you what I mean. One of my biggest things with this is the Engine of the Gods. So, this is my Engine of the Gods. Alright? It probably won't focus very well, but I feel like you can kind of get the gist of what it is. I've put this dirt on, but the base is by no means finished, but kind of just ignore the base. But just looking at it, right? This is something that I've painted over years at this point. It's been like a year and a half. I started because I saw a light blue with a dark blue theme for a Stegodon. I was like, I'll do that. So I did it with some contrast paint, and I thought it looked cool. And then I was like, all right, I'll do the horns in contrast. But I did that, and I didn't like it, so then I painted over it with some normal paint. So it's kind of a contrast over, or a normal paint over a contrast. And then I'm like, well, should I shade it? And I'm like, but I guess I painted over it so the details are kind of messed up, so if I shade it, I don't know if it's going to look good, but I feel like I should shade it, because I feel like I gotta shade it, because otherwise it's like you can't really see the horn details. So I'm like, okay, that's one thing. Then, I look at the top of it, and I'm like, alright, when I painted this first, I'm like, I'm going to make it all gold, but I feel like the gold doesn't really stand out as well as I wanted it to, but maybe I can make it stand out better by having other things pop out, like the shields. Like, I'm gonna dry brush these. Maybe I need to shade some stuff better. Maybe I need to, like, just paint more of the details better. Because, like, some of these ropes I just painted with contrast paint, and I'm like, dude, that doesn't look good. And then, you know, I got, like, some different colors in the back. I kind of like that, though. And then just, this guy I've painted, but I don't know if I really like his color scheme, so I'm like, should I paint him differently? You know what I mean? But, like, if you saw this here, somebody might be like, oh, that kind of looks like it's pretty much finished, you know? You just got a couple more things and then, like, some plants or something, right? So that's kind of what I'm trying to say. For example, here's my Carnosaur, Old Blood on Carnosaur, and he's another guy where I just got to put some plants and rocks and stuff and really help the base out, and I think once I do that, he's going to look a lot better. But, you know, there's, like, little things I see where I'm like, I could dry brush some more, I could, like,
there's like little details in here where I'm like, you see that? You see that little thing? It kind of, you know, it's not painted well. And then over here, I didn't really paint that well. And like all these little details. Or even like here, there's like a little, I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I do this. No, we're not focusing today. Oh, there we go. See, you got like the little blue and yellow mixing together. Just, I don't know. It's things where I feel like most people see it and they don't really notice it. They're like, well, that's cool. Or even just picking out little details on his throne. Maybe would help it pop a bit more. Or like even highlighting some stuff like on here. So I feel like a lot of it is, I think when it boils down to it is I've finished a lot of the major components of painting a model, but I need to finish off the little details to get it to the next level. Does that make sense? Here's another guy. He's actually got a base. All right, so here he is. He's got a base. I feel like maybe I need to even like dry brush some of the dirt here because it doesn't really stand out that well. I think that would help. I actually really like this guy's shell. I think it's a cool looking shell with like the different blues kind of mixed together, kind of like a muddy blue. And then, you know, I don't got a problem with like a lot of his stuff. I think he looks pretty all right. Maybe just make his this thing pop a bit more, I guess, and then maybe some of the skinks could pop a bit more. But I already did a little detail on that. Like, I don't know, it's one of those things where like this guy, this is another good example. I feel like he's kind of finished, but I could do more. And then I guess my final one I'll show off here is Lord Kroak, who I'm actually very happy with. He's probably one of my favorite ones. And looking at him, I'm like, you know what? I like Lord Kroak. He's pretty good. But I guarantee, even just like looking here for a while, you start to just notice little things where I'm like, what if like the little frog here I did? What if I just gave him a little like boop, so he had like an eye? But then I'm like, if I did that, it might ruin it, so why even do that? And I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. And then I'm like, this vine, but there's like, this vine I don't really like. Maybe I should color it different, but it's kind of like these, so it kind of wraps around, so maybe I don't. And then up here, I kind of missed coloring in some of this part, so I could go back and do that. And like the little things holding onto the skulls are white. And actually, I missed this completely. That needs to be painted, as well as this. But even if I didn't, you know, it's not like people would really notice it that much. I don't know. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about here. Let me go back over now that I've shown you what I mean. Alright, here we go. Why my Rise of Nations music stop? Oh wait, no, there it is. Properties. Don't worry, we're back.
Yes, we're back. Okay. And then back we go with the old other camera. Hey, all right. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. This was like an all over the place video a bit, but I feel like you've gotten the point I'm trying to make, right? I feel like most people run into this issue. So just, I'm curious as to like how you go about dealing with it. And if there's like specific models you've had it with, like maybe, like for example, like a skink or a Saurus warrior. I'm not like, dude, that Saurus warrior needs some work. Like I'm like, whatever, he's a Saurus warrior. But I think it's the bigger models that bother me, right? Like the Carnosaur, like the Engine of the Gods, like the Lord Kroak, like all the bigger, more expensive models where I'm like, this guy's got to be better, right? So let me know down in the comments section your thoughts, opinions, any suggestions, anything you've done to deal with that type of thing. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. And it looks like my microphone is engulfed by a beast man hand or something. Like, look at this. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Okay. See ya. By the way, the music's Rise of Nations. A lot of people are asking about the music. This is Rise of Nations music. The other music I use is EVE Online usually, but I kind of alternate back and forth. Yeah.